My name is Cameron Hume. I'm going to be teaching a class on strategy and multi-stakeholder negotiations. The main learning objective is to help the students learn how to think like a negotiator. I'm of the view that you have a great education here at Georgetown already. And one of the areas in which you can maximize the information and the learning that you've had in other courses is to get insights into how to deploy that in actual situations. And negotiating is one of the challenges that really you can make a difference by learning how to think about it and up your performance. During your professional life, pretty much no matter what you do, almost every day you're going to be challenged to negotiate something. The nature of your job assignment, other questions internally, but I think particularly you're going to be challenged, whether it's in business, whether it's in academia, whether it's in government service, to get other people and other organizations to cooperate. And this course, I think, will help you see how negotiation can be used for positive objectives of getting the cooperation you need. I was a Foreign Service officer for the United States for 40 years. During that time, I was the lead negotiator for us in the Security Council at the UN for about 10 years. I've also been Chief of Mission or Ambassador in 4 countries: Algeria, South Africa, Sudan, and Indonesia. I've written 3 books centered on negotiating experiences that I had in different places. Numerous articles, and now I'm working on environmental questions with a large Indonesian Chinese conglomerate that was the main target of Greenpeace 4 years ago. But just last week, the head of the company and the head of Greenpeace made a joint presentation at the U.S. Climate Summit. I deeply believe that negotiations among different groups can bring better outcomes. The course is going to take place basically as a seminar. I'm going to expect the students to read excerpts from several classic texts. I think they'll help us to learn how to apply what we know from analysis and other places to negotiation. So some Machiavelli, some Sun Tzu, some other classic writers. We should also look at a couple of case studies. Some of these will be from business school case studies. Others will be recent events. We're going to also have 2 films we're going to look at to see how, in the films, how do you see when they're negotiating or interacting that a real negotiation is actually taking place, and how are some of the parties able to improve their odds? We can see some of the concepts in action. In addition, there'll be 2 papers, a midterm paper where I'll ask for students to look at the negotiations 100 years ago at Versailles, and to ask a simple question, it's a counterfactual, what could have been done differently at Versailles that might have resulted in a different Middle East today? And we'll be looking particularly, how would one party have proposed a different change in the negotiations? Not an outcome difference, but how the negotiations are structured that might have led to a different Middle East today. And then at the end, I'll expect each of the students to do a longer paper, which would be a brief for a participant in an upcoming multilateral negotiation of the student's choice. For example, the regime that is used to control the Arctic. Maybe one student would choose to write a paper as to how the Chinese should approach this negotiation, again with an emphasis not on the Chinese national interest, but how that interest could be promoted through procedural choices. And that will be the course.